here at that Supreme Court, the big Roe v. Wade decision day, and why are you here today?
I'm here to advocate for my rights as a woman and to advocate for all of our rights as women. There are many groups of women, whether you are Jewish, Black, Hispanic, that are more impacted by this decision, and this has very severe, if not life-threatening consequences. So it's very important that we come and use our voice and express that.
Okay, and now have you met any pro-life people here today?
I've seen them. I've decided that I don't know if it's worth my energy talking to them. There are some over there.
Oh, there's some over there, okay.
Yeah.
So have you heard their concern about it's referenced in the Declaration of Independence, the rights of life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. How would you respond to their concerns about the rights of life as stated in the Declaration of Independence?
Yeah, the definition of life may change from one person to another. And I think that we need to remember that as a community, as a country, there are so many of us who have different perspectives on this, and that your perspective and your opinion should not take precedence over the other. We should have the opportunity to have choice. Mm-hmm. And if it's between the life of an unborn child and the life of a mother and the life of a person, then at the end of the day, we need to respect that person's choice.
There's another thing that the pro-life movement talks about. They reference a Bible verse from Psalm 139. It refers to a person's life before they are formed in the womb. Do you know about that verse, and how would you respond to them about that Psalm 139?
I can't speak on it.
You couldn't speak on that issue. It's a very emotional day, isn't it, today?
It's frustrating.
It's frustrating.
There are a lot of emotions. I think that if you look at this as a whole, we've been on this road for a while, mm-hmm. and it's just frustrating to see the highest powers that be not protect those that deserve protection.
And also I was curious about, we had people picketing outside the Supreme Court judges' residences. Are you familiar there's a federal law making that a crime to be outside the residences or outside jury residences, and that's not being enforced? If the shoe were on the other foot.
It's a bit ironic, right?
Yeah, it's
your right to
strange,
privacy is being stripped away, and that's a problem for you. Your right to your home is stripped away, and that's a problem for them. But our bodies are our home, and we have a right to. I'm not saying one way or another whether that's correct or not. I think people deserve the right to privacy, but we also have to keep in mind that people are emotional today. You're right. This is a big moment.
It's a big moment for both sides of the issue, and. So hopefully America won't fall apart here soon.
We're always on the precipice, aren't we?
On the precipice of some disaster or something, right?
Yes, but I do hope that from today we can continue this conversation and we can continue to advocate for the codification of Roe versus Wade, or at least bring this back up to the table, because it's very important. And this cannot be something that just goes with the news after 2 weeks. This is something that is very, very important that we need to continue to talk about and press.
Now, we had BLM, we had some protests where a lot of people lost their lives, a lot of businesses were destroyed, and nothing was done to protect those people's businesses or lives from being killed. Do you expect something like that to happen? Because of this Roe v. Wade decision, there would be a lot of protests to threaten people's lives?
I am in no position to say one way or another whether there might be riots, people might be protesting, whether it might be life-threatening. But I think that there is a common theme that will occur time and time again when we are protesting for something that is life-threatening, when we are discussing on a larger scale an issue that is life or death for so many people. The lengths that they will go to speak up about it and to show their beliefs. It could be seen as reasonable.
Well, thank you for sharing today.
Thank you.
Dave, why are you here today?
I'm here today because I'm angry, and because I'm angry on behalf of all of the women I know, for one thing. I'm angry just generally that this institution behind us is being used as an instrument of a narrow partisan agenda rather than protecting the public interest.
Okay. And have you had any encounters with any pro-life advocates here.
Very few. I've seen some, but definitely the vast majority are people who oppose the decision that has been handed down today.
Okay, and so this really doesn't overturn Roe v. Wade totally. It still goes back to the states. Abortion still continues in certain states.
That's true, but it opens up a window wherein other instruments of the federal government can impose national bans. It makes it really, really difficult for people to obtain abortions. Even if they go to states that are outside of those which ban abortion. Some states are considering laws which would prohibit, make it much harder or prohibit people from venturing outside of states wherein they live to, receive this treatment. And in any event, abortion is a human right. Women's rights are human rights. So anything which prevents the exercise of those rights is, I think, something that every person should be concerned about.
Now, what would you say to the people that you referred to, the Declaration of Independence, where it says that we're endowed with our rights of our Creator for unalienable rights of life and liberty and pursuit of happiness? How would you respond to those people?
How would I respond to them? The document says that. I don't think that provides a justification for banning abortion.
Okay. So I know that has been a big issue for a lot of pro-life people.
Sure.
Is the rights of life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's an ongoing argument about what constitutes life and when it begins. Mm-hmm. So that's one thing. I think it is frankly absurd to treat a fertilized egg or a collection of cells as a living being.
Yeah.
And I think that this argument also neglects the fact that a lot of the laws under considerations in many states would effectively force women to give up their lives in the name of these things which probably, quite frankly, are not people. So I don't understand how you can possibly be pro-life when you're asking that women die. That's not pro-life to me.
I think the pro-life movement, they refer to scripture in the book of Psalms 139. It refers to seeing people's life before it starts or something.
I'm sure that's a perfectly nice reference. But This is not a Christian country. This is not a theocracy.
Okay.
This is a country that maintains a separation between church and state. So you're entitled to your religious views, whatever they may be, but you may not dictate a political agenda to the entire country. It's as simple as that.
I understand your point of view. Thank you for sharing today.
Of course.
I'm here at the Supreme Court building, and why are you here today?
To celebrate the decision.
Okay, well, what is good about the decision from your perspective?
I think it will save the lives of millions of people.
Okay, and what is impact on a federal level? What are your concerns? From my understanding, it doesn't really stop abortion totally.
No, of course not. Well, it hands it back to the states, which is good from just being true to the Constitution. We should be a nation of laws, not people's opinions, and also allowing the states that do want to ban abortion to do so and save millions of people.
Okay. Now, a lot of pro-life people refer to the Declaration of Independence, the rights of life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Mm-hmm. For the concern is that what your point is as well? That the Declaration of Independence speaks to these issues of protecting children?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't base my opinion on that document, but certainly the right to life is a basic human right.
Okay. And there's also Psalm 139 that talks about the forming of the child in the womb, mm-hmm. about its existence. Do you have any comment on Psalm 139?
Well, two things. I like Psalm 139, but also even without any reference to that, if you simply look at the biology of what's going on, it's very clear that we're talking about a separate individual.
Mm-hmm. So, okay. What is a long-term impact, you think, of this decision today? What do you expect to happen?
I think we're going to have many years of continued debate on a more local level.
Okay. And I know before we had a lot of protests during the BLM time. Mm-hmm. Do you expect there to be violent outbreaks of anarchy regarding this decision?
Well, I think there already have been a lot of violence, ironically, crisis pregnancy centers are getting firebombed. But I don't think it's going to be another civil war by any means, but there will be some violence.
Okay. Well, it's a very historic day, I know.
It certainly is.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing.
Okay, thank you.